Morning. Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi, y'all. So wrong. It's so wrong. It's right now. Welcome to the future. Who's excited? Woo! I'm not going to lie. This is going to be interesting because we've not done this before. This is new. So, like the future, it's uncertain. It's uncharted.
Flexible.
Yeah. I'm Claire Warner. I'm head of advocacy for Diageo. I'm sure you all know who this is, but
I'm Eileen Wayner, CEO of Tails.
yes, woo! We are super excited to welcome you to the inaugural Futures Lab, where we are going to spend the next couple of hours embarking on a whirlwind tour of the future of our industry. And over the next few hours, we are so excited to welcome a series of dynamic, exciting, inspiring speakers to offer you a snapshot of what the future could look, feel, and possibly taste like. Now, centuries ago, bear with me, centuries ago, maps were marked, uncharted or uncertain areas were often marked with the warning, "Here be dragons." And that served as a caution to those venturing into the unknown. Like those ancient maps, the future is uncertain, it is uncharted, and it's also full of potential. But unlike those early warnings, we want to welcome the dragons. That's not the speakers, by the way, that's just the concept. Welcoming the dragons of the future, because we want to understand them and embrace them. After all, dragons are only scary when we don't know their names. Over to you.
No surprise, I'm here for the housekeeping, keeping us on track. Really excited to debut this with you all today. We have had some travel considerations that have now made this a Zoom-facing interactive component. So Matt, who I'll introduce in a moment, is very kindly Zooming in for us today. And we'll also have later Kat joining us by Zoom as well. But we're really excited. This is a new opportunity for us to explore ideas that are going to shape this industry. And we see this as a place to start, right? We want to take these ideas, we want to mold them, we want to figure out where this goes. Is it digital content? Is it a roadshow, perhaps? Who knows? And so we really want this to be interactive. We're going to ask you all at the start of each session and at the end of each session to participate in a Slido that will ask you your sort of initial impressions about these topics, right? So how do you feel about them? Are you worried? Are you excited? Are you doom and gloom? Are you really positive? Do you see these things as helpful to your industry or to your profession in some way? And so that'll be part of the start and the finish of each of these sessions. So please do participate because we're going to use those as data points that we'll probably deploy in some way, shape, or form. And so each of these sessions are short, they're brief, they're 20 minutes. And so question-wise, here's our first question. Limited to a word or two, please share how you feel about this topic. And so the first topic, which will be introduced by Matt Molino, is the future of experience. And so what are your initial thoughts? How do you feel about it? What are some words that impact how you're considering this topic so that we can then share those with Matt? So we'll go 20 minutes. I don't think we'll have room for questions, but there will be Whova, our app that has a survey that'll be deployed after this. If you want to send thoughts, observations, ideas, we want to capture those. And so bear with us. First inaugural Futures Lab. Appreciate y'all being here. And with that, I'll turn it over to Matt.
Thank you first and foremost, Claire and Eileen. How are we sound-wise? We grooving?
Good,
Great.
good.
All right. Thank you to them. Thank you to Tales of the Cocktail. Thank you to the guests in attendance. Thank you to the future. Thank you to Dragons. Unfortunately, I'm heartbroken. I would love to be in the room with everybody today in New Orleans. I am a victim of the logistical chaos that is perusing our airline industry right now. So we're gonna do this remote, and we're gonna jump in to the presentation I prepared. I was heavily relying on the talent and charm of Eileen and Claire. So we're gonna do this solo from here. But my name's Matthew Molino. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer and Managing Director of Wine and Spirits for brand experience agency NVE. I've painted a career that is a collision of passion points: sneakers, basketball, hospitality. I started in this industry as a bartender, and then made my way into the world of advertising after a love of film. So really looking at how do we tell stories, and specifically how do we tell stories through the brand experience lens. So NVE, we have been entrusted by some amazing partners, including Apple, Netflix, Adidas, and most currently Diageo, on how we shape their brands. And oftentimes people will ask me, brand experience, what is it? My mom thinks I work in experimental marketing. She's not wrong. But when we talk about brand experience, we talk about the personification of a brand. We talk about it being a participatory action, something that you choose to do, not something that is interrupting your everyday life, but something that you are able to make a part of your world and experience in a broader format. Experience is on the rise. Here are a couple nifty stats. 67% of people would rather pay for an experience than a tangible item, which is a substantial change accelerated by the pandemic. And as that impacts brands and our venues, 80% of people are more likely to purchase when those brands are delivering a personalized experience. So I'm going to talk through 3 quick brand experiences, talk about some of the common threads, and then we'll jump into the future of some of the impacts that brand experience will take away. First and foremost, do we have any Formula One fans in the audience? I can see the backs of people's heads. I see some raised hands. Fandom in Formula One is very well established. You have Ferrari, you have Mercedes, you have McLaren. You also have a new fandom that's been generated through Netflix's Drive to Survive and love for the industry and the sport as a whole, but those are free agents. And so one of our partners is Visa Cash App. We're trying to understand fandom for the next generation. And as we shape brand experiences, it's so important to be critically focused on the where. And oftentimes, if you look at Miami Grand Prix, we were tasked with welcoming this team to the city for the first time, revealing a livery, which is their kit, their creative kit, with high pressure washer car wash. So literally we had artists from the Miami area paint, disguise the vehicle, and then it was revealed to the public for the first time. This didn't happen in the paddock. This didn't happen in a place where it was thousands of dollars to reserve a spot. It happened in the heart of Miami because there's so much gentrification in that city. We wanted to ensure that we were giving back and recruiting in the right way. The next example, crazy film if you saw it, Academy Award nominated Poor Things with Yorgos Lanthimos and Emma Stone. This is an example of bringing people and immersing them in your brand, taking a very complex subject matter and ensuring people can live and be a part of it, which drives loyalty, it drives consideration, it drives anticipation. This experience was built in Brooklyn at Maison Premier, a really remarkable venue known for their oyster service, their cocktail menus. And we built a 3-act play that brought people into the fold with exceptional service, because you can't break that fantasy and you want people to leave with that sense of hype. And the last example I'll take you through is Diageo's World Class. I hope many are familiar. I hope many are going to travel with us to Shanghai in September. This was Sao Paulo. This was this past year, and NVE's been entrusted with being a lead partner here. And I want to really focus on community as part of brand experience. The hospitality community is one of the rare communities that actually comes closer through competition. But anytime that you have an iterative program, you need to ensure that you're maintaining a sense of locality. Where are we showing up? Who are we doing it for? How are we ensuring that we're bringing value to the table? And how are we keeping it fresh as we continue to look at the future and move forward? All great experiences, in my personal opinion, have a common element, and that's great hospitality. And hospitality really ranges and can be defined. I think everybody in this room would have a different definition for what it means to them, but it's special. And the future, as Eileen and Claire so beautifully set up, will allow us to be even more hospitable particularly with the types of technologies that we bring into our day-to-day life. I can guarantee you this is not going to be a doom and gloom presentation. Future forces and predictions, oftentimes we can get a little heady, we can get heavy when we talk about the future, and we need to look at it as application and participation towards creativity. Think the technology serving you the thing you needed to watch, the laugh you needed to have, the wisdom you needed to hear. We're increasingly getting access to inspiration. And for instance, sometimes maybe too much inspiration. One of the number one things chronicled watched on Netflix is searching for something to find on Netflix. So options, while valuable as an inspirational component, can also really help to connect the dots. And particularly as we look at our industry in hospitality, more so than ever, we have the opportunity to serve inspiration from across the planet instantaneously, and to share our points of views, and to share the tests and the experiments and the things that we become really excited about. And that's what this business is about. So I'm going to launch into 4 kind of future trends. All have the opportunity, a lot of them are in works, a lot of them will continue to evolve, to strengthen the brand experience, either at a venue level, at a creative level, at a brand level, and with the core of getting to greater hospitality. So first and foremost, you can't have a future trend stack without AI. I'm not going to steal anything from Gary's forthcoming presentation, but I do want to talk about how it's being utilized in our world of brand experience. For us, artificial intelligence is becoming a chef de cuisine. It's really helping us to analyze creative ingredients. It's helping us to do mountains of research in a short period of time, all with the vision of doing better creative work, being more hospitable, exploring more options. Every visual you see on this slide here was created with Midjourney. We're using it in our day-to-day design, not only of immersive spaces, but also in the way that drinks can be revealed, how they can show up. We can test different garnishes visually, which is incredibly impressive. And it's also a world where we are able to democratize access. We're able to get to a sharper point of view quicker. And that is with the sense of really empowering the creative people that work within our business and also within our industry to do more. Next, I really want to talk about loyalty and the evolving sense of loyalty. Loyalty is going to be increasingly important to brands and to industries and to venues. We talked about experience, we talked about that uptick. That means it's going to become more competitive, and experiences are also becoming more expensive. So I'll start with the brand side, but as we craft experiences for consumers, we want to ensure that we're rewarding them time and time again. So if somebody shows up to 3 or 5 experiences, we need to make sure we're taking care of them in the same way, but also with more depth than the person that's checking us out for the first time. So there's emerging technologies, there's older technologies that are being brought back too, like RFID, where we are able to get down to a granular level and understand the things that you love. We can track attendance at a particular bar, which may be a good or a bad thing, depending on how we look at it. But we're also able to see what interactive components you're most inspired by. Simultaneously, that will continue to translate down to the venue level. My favorite restaurant in LA, shout out to Mark and Med at the Dolce Vita. You'll be able to start to understand, it's the evolution of a chip. People will start to be able to track my experiences, me and my wife Nikki have shown up to the restaurant 7 times in the last 4 weeks. What does that mean? What are we enjoying? What can we expect? What is our dwell time? We're seeing apps start to ensure that we are supporting our creatives and driving greater loyalty and ensuring that with this increase of experiential components, we have the opportunity to reward those for investing in us. Next, we'll talk about sensorial storytelling. This is one that is near and dear to our hearts. Claire and I talk a lot about this, the evolving internet of senses. Right now, we're in an internet experience that is primarily 1 or 2 senses. It will increasingly be more as we get to 2030. So technology is taking and playing a part in allowing us to go deeper into the experiences that we love. We've got technology on the screen, whether it's rotovap, 3D printing, all technology that is allowing us to explore our creative visions in really remarkable ways. But anytime we introduce new technology, we have to become even better storytellers. Because especially with a consumer that does not have the vocabulary yet with regards to complex distillation and these things, it's almost like magic. And if we don't take that time, if we don't put some of that technology behind the scenes, we lose this. This would have paid off better if I wasn't Zoom reporting live, but if I was in the room with you. And it's so critical that we find ways to continue to utilize technology, but to have a veil that allows us to, yes, explore really breakthrough creative technologies that unlock our senses from what we see, feel, touch, smell, but simultaneously in a way that is easy to comprehend and easy to understand and share back. The last trend I really want to talk through with this team, and I'll make sure that my email is shared with everybody if there's any specific questions against any of these trends and how we're utilizing them, but is immersive education. People are craving a deeper, more immersive education into the things that they love. The creative chairman of Uniqlo, a brilliant gentleman by the name of John Jay, talks about during the pandemic, there was another pandemic, which was this pandemic of surface level knowledge. It used to be that you'd have to spend years studying a topic, diving into it, going to school to really become an expert. And now I'm sure everybody in this room has that friend that reads a couple Wikipedia articles, reads a couple headlines, watches a film, and they're a genius on a subject matter. And we're starting to go back to the beginning, which is throwing ourselves deeper into the things that we love, earning that sense of knowledge, earning that sense of education. Travel is one of those things that is seen as a trend that is absolutely on an uptick, with 64% of consumers saying they're saving money to be able to travel and prioritize leisure travel as they head, which will just naturally unlock. My colleague Jenna, I'm not sure if she's there as well, talks a lot about cultural temples and places that we have to protect. There's so many cultural temples in New Orleans that I'm bummed to miss this week. But attending those things, we're going to have to protect them, and we're going to have to bring people through them. And we're going to be able to do it in multiple ways. Yes, innovation and travel, but most importantly, how do we start to explore digital travel? We've kind of entered the first phase of AI. We've entered the first phase of VR, AR. We're just beginning to tap the limitless elements of the possibilities of the technology. Right now, it's about a $4.4 billion industry. And by 2030, it's expected to be a $28 billion industry. And that, paired with the Internet of Senses, will allow us to travel and be in places that we may not have had the luxury to be in physically, but can learn and take even more away through the collective experience. Something that we're doing and over participating in with our partners at Don Julio is an Apple Vision Pro tour of the distillery La Primavera, which again is just the beginning of starting to bring people further into the fold, like we've discussed, as they explore and strengthen their brand experience, dialogue, their vocabulary, and the things that they fall in love with. In recap, the four that we went through today is like AI and application, which we'll jump into more. Loyalty evolving, how do we continue to take care of the people that are showing us love and to share that love back? Sensorial storytelling, how are we continuing to utilize technology to tell the beautiful experiences that have made us all fall in love with this industry in one way or another? And then immersive education, how are we bringing people in deeper? And with that, thank you. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for bearing with me remotely. All my information's here if there's any additional questions. And then to Claire and Eileen, thank you for the time.
So good. Thank you, Matt. That was amazing. Can I just switch to the Slido screen and just pull up how you're feeling about what you've just heard from Matt? If any of the initial observations or feelings had shifted or changed, maybe we're feeling even more excited, less excited, never. How are you feeling about what yes, inspired. I know that Matt would be delighted to see that. Cautious. Okay, interesting. But mainly excited. I mean, like, he's a brilliant speaker. That was an amazing topic. And I'm glad that the overarching view is that we're excited and motivated and intrigued by the future of experience.
Yeah, and I would say too, as you're adding in your words, if there's any applications you can see this in your profession and what you do too, I think it's keen to capture that as well. But thank you, Matt. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was cool. So Matt picked up on a couple of areas there that I think will be supercharged in many ways by our next speaker's talk on the future of flavors. So in particular, I'm thinking sensorial storytelling, immersive education. All of these I know will be supercharged in the future by the future of ingredients. So I'm now going to welcome to the stage Monica Berg to talk about the future of ingredients. As Monica's coming up, if you'd like to share some thoughts or feelings about how you're feeling about the future of ingredients, give us something to bounce off of first. Let Monica run around and get the feeling back in her arms and legs because it's so cold in here.
And I'm going here.
You're here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kill time for 5 minutes.
No, don't kill
No,
time.
I'm joking.
Just jump in.
I will.
Conference Wi-Fi for those who don't have it and don't know where to find it but want to participate. What is it? Do we know?
It's Tails Guest, and it's Inspire 2024.
Capital I.
Yes. Thank you, Monica. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, we should have put that first. Yeah. It's okay.
Huh?
You need the drink now?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
I
that's fine.
just thought I was supposed to. Okay.
They're going to
So.
serve it. I think.
Yeah, they're going to serve it.
Ah, okay.